Hello and welcome back to my channel, the Yogi Minimalist Fit Enthusiast. I wanted to say my name and say all of that all at once. Anyhow, my name is Monique, and today we are going to talk about narcissistic people because I am definitely seeing a trend. And you know what? I recently learned that it can depend on the environment that you're in, where you're living at. I live in LA County. Now I'm not in LA, I'm in Long Beach, so it's its own whole other vibe. But the attraction and what we have around us, I can see why one would come across a lot of different types of narcissistic people. However, what I'm talking about for today, and excuse me if you hear my roommate, I apologize. But sticking to what I'm talking about and why I'm making this video, because it is a serious thing. These people can cause a lot of harm, and it doesn't necessarily have to be physical. The sad thing is, from what I've experienced and from what I've heard from other people and researching, uh, sometimes people would probably prefer the physical abuse versus the mental and emotional abuse, the mind games, the manipulation. It is exhausting. So, I'm going to give you a warning. If you're one of those feelers, as of myself, I am an INFJ, um, very, very intense, very sensitive to how I feel. And that's another topic too, sensitivity versus your emotional state, acting on your emotions or just being sensitive to how you receive things. Um, Anyhow, I just wanted to break that down. So, my first experience with a narcissist was at one of my jobs. This was a 34. So this was 10 years ago, maybe a little earlier. So I was 22, between 22, 24. Anyhow, I was working at a call center, and now most of us have worked in call centers. It's already a high stressful job. It's very on high demand, and obviously depending on what you have to do. Now, I have worked in many departments at this particular job before, but this was, what happened in the smaller department that I have promoted to. We used to take care of suicide calls. We would have to help with authorizations and urgent referrals, so that people can go into urgent care or the emergency room or whatever the case is. We handled those calls. It was after hours. So that's another thing. We were working graveyard shift. Now, these women, there are about 4 or 5 of us. And before this particular woman came along, everyone got along. Everyone got along. There weren't any tension in the room. It wasn't any of that, and people were able to do their own thing too. At the time, I was in school, so in between calls, in between work, I would be reading, doing research, or working on my assignments. So, and everyone else would pretty much do their own thing too. We would talk a little bit, chat, whatever, do our own thing. It was no issues. Now, one person came on down and worked in the department. Now, we heard warnings of this particular person, and honestly, I was feeling sorry for her. I was feeling sorry for her for what I was hearing. I felt like a lot of it can be just misunderstood, especially with different personalities. Um, and she seemed like a sweet older lady. Um, no, no, she was not. I was fooled. I was fooled. There are a few other women that were fooled too, because she comes off very sweet, very innocent. However, you give her too much of your time, the more she wants it. And it was so draining, guys. Like, I would physically get up and I will go take myself to a different location so I can focus on work. And being an introvert, it's like, okay, I want to just have my me time without feeling that drain, that constant attention. For me, it makes me feel uncomfortable. And then she would still send me messages. We had this instant message system that was internal within the job. So she was constantly sending messages, constantly sending emails. What are you doing? What are you guys talking about? It was a constant for her to feel needed, or for her to be included with everything and anybody. It just was exhausting, even if it had nothing to do with her or whatever it is. It was constant. Um, Now I had to check in with myself, because I would get angry and just irritable. So I would start moving myself. Um, Higher up, the supervisors told me I could not do that. They wanted me to sit with the team. That aggravated me even more, because they knew what she was doing. They knew what she was capable of. That's why they probably had her change from daytime to nighttime. But they weren't there experiencing it. So even though they're hearing these things, not just from myself, from other people too, they failed to do anything about it. We would even go to human resources. Nothing was done about it. So I'm the type of person, if there's no solution, I'm just going to remove myself. I'm just going to remove myself. I will take the blame. I don't care anymore. I'm going to remove myself. I ended up leaving that job. I was there for about 5 years, and I had plans on going from different departments, especially after receiving my bachelor's and master's degree. I wanted to stay there. The company, I'm not going to mention the company, but the company was a great company to work for. And I'm not going to put the blame on them. It was handled poorly on both parts. However, I was just fed up. I was fed up. Now, once I moved on from it and everything, it was fantastic. I felt such a relief. I was still hearing comments from the other women, and I told them, well, I don't know what to tell you. Human resources, they're not doing anything about it. Management supervisors, they're not really doing anything. They're hearing us, but they're not really doing anything. So you have to take matters into your own hands. So I thought to myself, well, this job is not really catering to not just me, but everyone that needs help. Um, they're not catering to that. So you got to move on. That's just how I look at it. I've been in other certain situations where it's like I'm not feeling the love, and I'm putting so much into it. Gotta go. So I had experienced that with that particular coworker. Um, it was a horrible experience, but I'm glad I've experienced that, because I got to see those traits in other people. Now, you can call it PTSD, because you're replaying those moments that maybe weren't quite healed. But in knowing that and moving forward, that is a part of the healing process. Well, for me, it was. So this continued on with different men that I would date. I would see some of those characteristics, and like I said, it was more so out here. Now, when I dated in Sacramento, I didn't really come across that. But out here in Orange County and in LA County, it's a lot of, and not all of them, but some of them have that superficial, that image of what they're trying to portray themselves out to be. And they're not any of those things, but they create that persona. Now, there are different types of narcissists. There are plenty of videos on YouTube, so research them. Um, There's many different types. There's different types that, and a spectrum too. Some people might be higher up, higher down, but some of them are super dangerous, super, super dangerous. And I'm going to bring you to the dangerous one that I came across. So this person was close and they're a family member. Now, you kind of have that speculation given those traits of what you had already experienced before. And you think to yourself, no, I don't want to believe that. So in a way, you're kind of being selfish. You want to hang on because of that bond, that special bond you have with the person. But you kind of know it's there. You know it's there. Then something doesn't go according to their plan. Okay, so this is what happened. I dated one of my brother's friends. Okay. Wow, everyone goes wild. Okay. Now, I didn't find an issue with it because it's a good friend that he has mentioned to me before. Oh, you guys should hang out. You guys live pretty close together. Hang out. So I didn't think of it as a big deal. Mind you, we're not in high school. We are grown adults. Okay. So, older brother is 40 or going on 40. Okay, I'm 34. So this happened a couple years ago. Okay, 30s, 40s, we are grown people. He finds out, or he was speculating, and then starts questioning the serious of the relationship. And I say to him, we're just having fun. This, nothing serious. We're having fun. We are enjoying each other's company more than anything. He finds a problem with it, but I knew it was going to be a problem because there were issues that had arisen after I had moved out. Now, when I moved from Sacramento County and I came into Orange County, originally I wanted to live alone. I was going through a breakup. I wanted to be by myself and not give in to any outside noise. Like I just wanted to just focus on rebuilding myself. He and his wife had the idea of me living with them. Now, at the time, I was thinking to myself, like, I don't know about this because I'm going from one environment into someone else's environment. I don't know if I can deal with that right now. I should have listened to myself. I should have listened to my intuition. I do now. I do now, but at the time I was thinking of maybe this can be good for me to have that or bond or rebond with my oldest brother. When we were children, we did not get along. Now I understand why. Now I understand why. Another discussion on that. We have different fathers, by the way, but just know that narcissism, it can be genetically in someone, and most narcissists don't know that they're narcissists, but it can also be a learned behavior. So like I said, do some more research on it. I have my master's degree in psychology, but just because I have my master's does not mean I know everything. It actually makes me want to learn more. You know what I'm saying? Another video for that. Anyhow, getting back on the topic. So I thought to myself, maybe it would be a good idea. I will be around my nieces, and I don't have any children of my own, don't want any. I love being an auntie, but I was thinking more so on that aspect, like I can be around them. I'm a big kid at heart, so we can play and I can see them grow. Like I was thinking more of that, more than the negative, even though I knew that something would happen because we have bumped heads before when we were children. I'm going into the teenage years when I knew something was going on with him. So anyways, went and lived with them, not for a whole year. And I told them, I think I want to move. I think it would be best for me to move out. Now, what started that, what started that is I caught him going through my stuff. Okay, guys, how violating is that when you're renting from a space, regardless of who you're staying with, regardless if it's a family member or a friend or whoever, you are grown, you catch someone going through your stuff. Okay, it makes you think to yourself, have they done this before? Why are they doing this? When I caught this person, when I caught him, and I'm underneath the blankets, and maybe I think he had was under the impression that I was gone for the day. I was working a later shift that particular day. I asked him, what are you doing? What are you doing? He got afraid. It's like, oh, and he left. He never answered me. Even after I got up, I got dressed, I left. I'm like, what were you doing in my room? Why were you going through my stuff? Blank stare, blank stare, blank stare, and acted as if nothing happened. So in listening to my experiences, guys, I want you to pay attention to the red flags because they're all there. They're all there, but you gotta listen to your instinct. For me, it's more so my gut instinct and my heart. It's like our brain. We actually have more than just the mind, the brain, right? We have our heart brain, the gut brain. All of those, listen to them because you may feel like they're steering you wrong, but they're not. They're not. So that whole day, I just felt really uneasy. I didn't like that. I did not like that. I'm a person of boundaries, and I show that same respect with people that I have in my life. And the fact that I wasn't getting that in return, it just really made me feel uncomfortable. So when that happened, months down the line, I already knew to myself I need to start saving up so that I can get up out of there. I saw different situations where he and his wife would, get in arguments or have a disagreement. It was really, really hard to watch. Now, if you come up from an upbringing, if you are from a traumatic upbringing, you kind of feel that tension, and you're highly aware. You become highly aware, highly sensitive to your environment. I knew that things were just not right. No matter how they were trying to paint the picture, it was not sitting right with me, and I needed to remove myself from that situation. But what really drew the line is the rumors and the lies that he created. Okay, he created all these lies, created all these rumors about me so that I can look like a bad person. Now, at first it bothered me. I was like, why is this happening? What did I do that was so dramatic for you to make these stories up about me and turn people against me? What did I do to you? And then I thought, oh, I know what it is. Because I wanted to leave when I wanted to, because I'm a grown ass woman. Okay. I didn't follow your rules. Your rules were broken in your world. So now I'm being outcast. Now I'm being thrown off like a piece of trash. I'm no longer needed. So now you're going to flip the script and make me out to be a horrible person. At first, I thought to myself, like, wow, that is some cruel shield. Excuse my language, but that is so cruel. And then it hurt more because it's coming from someone that you kind of grew up with. Now, we were raised in two different households, and I felt bad because he always had that sense of our mother favoring us. He's even mentioned that to me. And I said, hold up. For one, you need to talk with mom about that because you are holding on to issues that she had no control over at that time. Also, just because you were in a different environment and you had your own traumatic experience, we have our own traumatic experiences from growing with our mother. So don't try to paint this picture that we had a better life or you had a better, like, it was a lot of comparison that he was doing. Very competitive for no reason. I'm not even a competitive person. Even when I was on the competition team, when I danced, I like to do things for fun, and I like to be genuine, and I like to include people as a community. That maybe that's something I'm used to, especially being the middle child and helping with my younger siblings. I don't know. But the stuff that he was doing, I was not familiar with. It was really making me uncomfortable, uneasy. It was making my anxiety go up, and a lot of questioning yourself, because that's what they'll do. They will flip the script, make up all these stories, tell these stories in front of people, and make themselves look like a certain image. So it was a lot of things that was happening that was not adding up. Now, a part of it is my fault. I would enable some of these traits, because I who wants to have someone look bad? Who wants that? Who wants to have, especially your brother or someone you used to look up to? Why would you don't want to put them on blast and make them look bad in front of their people? So I got to the point where I would not make any corrections on his stories or anything like that. But I knew deep down those stories were made up. I knew deep down that he was either being dramatic on some parts, or, of course, he was not being accountable on his end. But I got tired of just trying to cover it up and enable. So I removed myself. Now, it was hard, because in doing so, guess what? They will turn and flip the script and remove people from you. So, because of me removing myself and not wanting to deal with his shenanigans, okay, I can't speak with his wife. I can't speak with my nieces. I can't speak with the family. All because of me not following his rules. It got really, really bad when I began dating his friend. He did not like it, even though he claimed he didn't care. We all hung out on Halloween. This was a few years ago. And I feel like he was being jealous or paranoid for whatever reason. We were acting the same way we do, always flirty, friendly, having a good time, having drinks, catching up. And it was a lot of unhappiness that was going on with my brother. But it would come out. Everybody saw it. Now, people would not put up with it, because, again, we're just there and we're hanging out on Halloween at that moment in time. These are not people that deal with him on a regular basis. So they just see that portion of him, this made up character that he's portraying. They see it, and, they deal with it because, again, it's benefiting that moment in time where everyone's having a good time. I don't know. Now, it got to the point where he would text me nasty messages, these nasty, mean messages. And he had our sister send messages to me in capital letters. Again, stuff that was made up. So I'm looking at my phone like, what is this? Where all this come from? He took it upon himself to create all of these stories that did not even make sense. I can't even tell you these stories because they were all made up. But I remember one of the text messages in all capital letters saying, "If you talk about my brother, I'm going to do this." And I'm like, I just deleted it because I had no clue where it came from. I had no clue. And then I thought to myself, "Oh, wow, this narc is really trying to get a reaction out of me." The best thing that you can do is not react, because for what? They're being irrational. I'm a very logical person. So if it's not adding up, then why I'm not gonna work myself up for it. I'm not gonna work myself up about it. So I deleted the messages. And the crazier thing is the number, I didn't even know who it was. So that's how close I was to whoever had texted me that bullshit, right? So I'm looking at the number, looking at the message, and I felt just furious because I knew where it came from. I knew where it came from, but I didn't understand why. Again, why is this happening? Like, it all started, I wanted to move, do my own thing. I'm a grown woman. I'm not going to stay with this family. Like, you guys got your own family structure and family shit going on. I'm going to remove myself from it. And then me dating the friend. Now, the crazier thing is, all this stuff was happening after the friend and I stopped dating each other. So when the narcissist found out about it, he found out 2 months after we've been broken up. So, and I corrected him. I was like, I really find this interesting that you're getting worked up over something that has ended. We're still friends. That is still your friend. Me dating your friend had nothing to do with your guys' relationship. What is this all about? Well, I told you so. Instead of answering the question, they will flip the script again, or they will take it upon themselves, like, as I told you so. Like, I told you this would happen. No, first of all, you didn't tell me anything. So don't even go there. Like, why are you fighting about this? Why? There was no reason. He wanted to have and keep his people. He thought I was taking away his shine. It's that competition. Like, these are my people. And it's like a puppet master. Like, these are my people. You can hang out with them when I say, you can socialize with my group of people when it's okay for me. So you have to realize, with narcissists, they only think of themselves. They don't care about your feelings. They care about themselves. They care about their people. They care about how it makes them look. It's all about them. All about them. And then some people may feel like narcissists are like full of themselves, or they have this big confidence, and a lot of the times it's all made up, because they are insecure individuals. They have to make themselves appear a certain way because they are trying to cover something up. Now, if you know them, you know the truth about them, they will discard you because they have to be on that pedestal. Everything has to be them, up here, up here, up here. If they feel that you're taking that away from them in any kind of way, even if you're not, okay, because that's not what it's about. But if they feel that way, they take it as a threat, and they will try to get you out of the picture by making you look a certain way. So you have to take it upon yourself if you're ready to deal with that, because once you leave and you're no longer giving them what they need, they're going to try to get people against you. So the best way is to create boundaries if you have to deal with them. If not, cut yourself off. And regardless of what you do, there are consequences, right? So because of me cutting myself off from that manipulation game, I cannot see my family. I can't even have a conversation with my mother, because somehow that will come up. She tries to create like that reunion, and it's like, I don't want to reunite with that. That person is not going to change. I'm not going to change. So this here, that's not going to work. That those two types of people, someone who's super aware and someone who is not really aware and who refuses to be accountable for their actions of how they made someone else feel, it's just not going to work. Even when you try to give in. So I'll give you an example. I tried to give in And I said, you know, you're right. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. It wasn't, and then no response, because you know what it is? It wasn't on their time. Your apology wasn't on their time when they were ready for it. So they're going to ignore you. But then they'll try to convince you to apologize when they're ready, when they need something. So, you know, a few weeks will go by. And I will get a random text message or a random call, and I got to the point where I stopped answering. And you know, if you get to the point where you do respond, they'll act like everything's okay. So in this particular message, it was saying how, okay, well, I'm not upset anymore, but you know, you're still wrong for what you did. Oh, okay, so they're going to badger you until you give in. And I got to the point where it's like, wow, I tried to apologize about this before. You didn't take it. And now that you're like badgering me with something that's happened and ended way longer than you being upset about nothing, now you're ready for it. And I said straight up, I'm exhausted. I said, you know what? Forget it. I'm exhausted. You're exhausting. That's what I said. And um, the narcissist goes, who is this? Okay, they'll play that game. So now that you deleted my number and now you're pretending you don't know who it is because I'm not responding in a way that you want me to respond. Who is this, right? So what I ended up doing is blocking them, and the people that they turned against me, blocked all of them. Blocked all. Now you guys can deal with each other. Okay, you guys deal with the whole made up Let's Play House Barbie doll collection. Y'all can deal with each other on that. So months go by, and I get a message from the wife. The narcissist has access to the wife's everything. He sees that I respond. Nothing about him. I'm checking in with her and the nieces because she has sent me a message and I followed up checking in on her and the children. He tells me to leave them alone from her iPad because her iPad and her iPhone, they were connected. Come to find out. Because I was just like, where in the heck? So that's another thing that they do. They keep tabs on their people because their people are their people. Okay, so I'm sharing this experience with you because a lot of people may not realize they're in a situation like this. And this can come in many forms. I shared with you with how it happened with one of my jobs. I shared with you with my brother, and you know what? With the dating too. Not with the friend, but the dating out here in LA County and Orange County. Again, the environment has a lot to do with it. Where you put yourself, and not being aware. So this is an opportunity to just become more aware within yourself, more aware within your surroundings, because they are out there. Some of them are more dangerous than others. So you just got to be careful. You got to be careful. You got to be mindful, and you got to set boundaries, and you got to stick to them, because people like that, or any type of toxic person, really, they're not going to change. A lot of them thrive like that. They've built this defense mechanism, or they built this character up, and it makes them feel good. So this is why they do it. So, have you experienced narcissism abuse? And how did you get away from it? How? I want to know. Comment below. And what are ways to what are the red flags that you've seen, or that you're just hyper aware of? Let's know. Let's get all the information and help those out there that may be experiencing this, or who may not be aware of this, so that they can become aware if it does pop up. Thank you guys for tuning in. And if you stay this long, just know that there's a little bit more coming your way. But this can go on forever. This can go on forever. So anyhow, you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay positive, stay healthy. If you ever feel those instincts just bursting for something, trust them. Okay. Bye.